So there's a last chapter.
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah. There's a whole other chapter which happens after the movie. It doesn't just end with I'm healed or I'm
Right, like he gets reprogrammed.
I'm healed all right, and he has his visions, and it ends like that.
There's another chapter.
Yeah.
What happens to him?
Exactly.
You read it.
Yeah. I have the book with the last chapter. He basically grows up. That's the whole point of the book too. It's like it doesn't. The whole point of the reason why it's a Clockwork Orange is because an orange is like an organic thing. It's a sweet fruit. It comes to fruition, and the clockwork part is it's like a clock, like it's built and it just runs through a time, like it's determined. It isn't of free will, right?
It's like a seed. It runs its program and it rots.
And it comes to fruition.
Yeah.
So what he said, I read like a book where he's talking about. He also wrote this book, 1985, where he's like,
right,
this is actually what will happen. And it's different than 1984. He knew George Orwell, and or did he know him? I'm not sure about that, but he because that's George Woodcock who knew George Orwell, but he knew he studied George Orwell and like stuff like that, right? So the book is all about the first half of this book, 1985, is all essays on like the theories that he's putting into effect to sort of update 1984 or actually bring it into the reality. He wrote this in like 1978.
So you're saying that but back to the Clockwork Orange, you're saying that they left us with a cliffhanger to just believe that this guy was just a crazy guy, whereas the last chapter is actually like more of it's like a deeper redemption.
And he's like, I saw my old droogs, and I just didn't feel it anymore. We tried to go out another time, and it's totally like it wouldn't work in a movie very well. It just it wouldn't end the movie on like such a note. So,
but it's the actual conclusion.
Yeah, the actual conclusion is that you might wayward, irrational youth need to be dealt with strongly. We can't have criminality, and they are extremely dangerous if we just leave them. But if we just give them free will and free choice and just assume that liberalism basically is a problem, because it assumes that people are blank slates and that they can just be remolded and reformed according to the popular will or according to like morality as imposed by humans. But actually we're created by God, we're created by nature, and we run a program, and it's way more like determinism than like just people just choose their life or whatever. And like this guy actually just grows out of it when he grows up. When he has a chance to, he grows up. And maybe not. Maybe he doesn't grow up. Maybe he's psychopathic, and there's no forgiving that person. You know what I mean? He's not saying there's no forgiving there. He's saying that there's no we don't need to just accept criminality. That's not what he's saying. He's saying it's just a function. It either runs its course one way or it runs its course another way. And the character in his story grows up and ends up having a family, and he's like, I can't believe how I behaved. And
that whole last chapter, that all happens?
Yeah, it's basically that's what happens.
Because he was such a psychopath.
Right.
Like he was raping and killing.
He's no longer a psychopath because he's like, those boyish entertainments just became really tiresome.